On the 30th of June 2025, at precisely 12:47 p.m., the tranquility of the Bay of Naples was disturbed by an unusual tremor. The ground in the volcanic region of Campi Flegrei shook violently, triggering panic in the streets and buildings around Pozzuoli. Seismic instruments soon confirmed a magnitude of 4.6, a figure that would make it the strongest earthquake in the region in 4 decades. However, for experts, it was not the magnitude of the tremor itself that was of central concern, but rather what happened immediately afterward. On the small island of Pennata, a portion of a ridge collapsed into the waters of the bay. This landslide served as a brutal reminder that in Campi Flegrei, danger does not always come in the form of a lava-spewing eruption. Pressures moving beneath the surface often affect the stability of the land long before the magma reaches the nearest vent. This landslide was a tangible warning about the geological stability of the region. An emergency response was immediately activated. Schools around Naples implemented precautionary evacuation procedures, while the transportation system was disrupted. Trains experienced delays of up to 2 hours. Although the city's pulse hasn't completely stopped, Naples' atmosphere is now filled with a tense sense of alert. This earthquake confirms an increasingly alarming pattern. In just 4 months, there have been 3 earthquakes of magnitude 4.4 or higher. For the scientific community, the occurrence of such a series of large earthquakes in such a short time is not a random statistic. It indicates that the underground system is undergoing serious structural changes and requires close monitoring. Currently, the official alert status remains at yellow. This means that volcanic activity has increased, but not yet reached a point requiring mass evacuations. However, scientists' attention is no longer focused solely on ground movements. A far more mysterious and alarming chemical process is being observed. Since early 2025, a team of researchers from the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, INGV, has published important findings highlighting gas emissions from the Boca Grande fumarole in the Solfatara crater. The analysis, published in the journal Nature Geoscience, revealed an unusual change in sulfur composition. Since 2018, the vents have been emitting increasing amounts of light sulfur isotopes, a chemical signature crucial for understanding what is happening at depth. According to the researchers, this emission pattern is very difficult to explain if it originates solely from a shallow hydrothermal system. The signal is much more consistent with the influx of fresh gas from a magma source located at a depth of more than 6 kilometers. This indicates that although the magma has not yet reached the surface, the volcanic system is undergoing much deeper and more complex interactions than in previous years. What makes this finding even more interesting and alarming is its comparison with historical data. The current geochemical signal is stronger than during the bradycardia crisis of 1982 to 1984. At that time, extreme ground movement forced 40,000 residents of Pozzuoli to flee their homes. However, the current situation presents far greater challenges. The population living in the danger zone has increased drastically over the past 4 decades. To anticipate the worst-case scenario, the Naples City Council has approved a massive evacuation plan covering approximately 481,000 people. The implementation target is quite ambitious. The total evacuation must be completed within 72 hours. This is one of the most complex civil protection operations ever organized for a volcanic region in Europe. To date, Campi Flegrei has not erupted. There are no ash columns blackening the sky, no rivers of lava, and no total evacuation orders. However, a series of earthquakes, anomalous gas chemistry, and increasing subsurface pressure have made this area one of the most closely monitored volcanic systems in the world. For scientists, the question is no longer simply if something will happen, but when and how quickly we will react when the next sign appears. Beneath the tourist-attracting beauty of the Bay of Naples, a natural laboratory is silently working, waiting to determine the fate of this region, home to hundreds of thousands of people. Preparedness is our only defense against the uncompromising power of geology.